Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We have arrived in Act 4, and in between episodes I went for a little shopping. And I got myself these lovely boots, Windscream Reinforced Greaves. They are strength boots that give you one additional curse. So I can dual curse my enemies now. So my intention is to run Blasphemy with Temporal Change and Enfeeble. So Enfeeble makes enemies less likely to hit and it lowers the damage they deal. Temporal Change, which is what's active right now, slows them down, and it also makes damage over time effects last longer. Problem is, a axe that requires a lot of strength and a little bit of dex is really difficult to get into 2 blues and 1 green linked. That's gonna cost you a lot of chromatics, or you need to be very lucky. Unfortunately, I'm not very lucky, and I spent about 50 chromatics already trying to get the colors right. For now, blue double green, so that means temporal change can go in. And I have settled on Arctic Armour as a temporary solution. So our damage is a little bit lower, we're at 1740, but we gained a little bit of survivability. Because in the end, Enfeeble is there for survivability purposes. We still can achieve that. I did a little bit of testing. What happens if you reserve 95% of your mana? Answer is you don't have a lot of mana to work with. I theorized about that a little bit last time. I can get about 2 Lacerates off, and I can get about 2 Whirlwinds off before I'm out of energy when I run at 95%. Current setup is 85%. That's smooth. So that gives me hope. Especially if I just increase the size of my mana pool, then I will be able to deal with it even better. So the solution is going to be to get a jewel that just lowers my reserve mana by a little bit, or I can branch out and get a Champion of the Cause, which reduces the reserve mana by 4%. And just going from 5% to 9%, that ought to be enough to just get enough wiggle space to comfortably whirlwind around. Because in the end it's all about traveling with whirling blades. Just getting a little bit of buffer. When I'm in a fight at 95% reserved, I'm leeching so much mana that the whirling blades or that my Lacerate is just doing fine. There is no performance hits whatsoever. It's just an inconvenience when traveling. So, that just goes to show how strong our Leech is right now. Hey look, it's a whirling blades. Didn't have that one yet. But slowing enemies down is a nice one as well. It is a defensive perk. And so the higher level it gets, the larger the radius gets, the more enemies we affect before they get into melee range. So you are just gonna get poisoned like hell. Also, I think you are worthy of your totem. So my amulet and my ring here, I just enchanted a bit of mana on it just to increase my mana a little bit. All the little bits help. But I really need to just substantially fix the problem. But for now, we have a curse going that's more or less permanently on. And it works pretty well. For a while I did run around with just 2, I had it in a red-red-blue configuration. So I put in 2 red curses just to see what would happen if I reserved it, and it is feasible. So I'm very hopeful about that. And well, if the 90% reserve thing doesn't work out instantly, at some point I'll have enough mana that is not an issue. That's the very nice thing about all this. So I believe we don't have a vol over here, so let's head over to that side. Oh, hello there. So now that our damage output is a bit lower, a little bit lower, the damage over time component is gonna be slightly more relevant because enemies will take more hits to kill. And as such, damage over time actually has a couple more ticks of damage that it can do. So the fact that it lasts a bit longer definitely helps. Let's put a totem in here. So my life is a little bit higher. That is because I did level and I already grabbed one of the very, very nice nodes in the Marauder tree, which gives you 10% life. So that's already been covered. That bumped me from 1900 to 2100 or something. But obviously switching out of my pretty decent boots into Windscreams. Windscreams don't have health on them. So the plus 50 health that I inherently had in my old boots are no longer there. And as a result I lost about 100 health. Because we're nearly doubling our health right now. And that's only gonna get better the more points we invest. Which will be the focus of the near future. The near future we will be focusing on just more on our defenses. Getting more life on the build. Boosting our armor and evasion a little bit. For now we're still running around with the tabla, so there is still a lot to be gained from just switching to a proper armor. Nothing scary in here. Oh, nice now. If we don't stand next to it, it's not gonna hurt us. You. Yes, you. Oh, and you. So mirrored items is pretty nice if you get nice drops. So resummoning the golem is something that you have to actually have a full mana pool for, because it's relatively expensive right now compared to the size of my mana pool. Also, I would have expected full by now. I think he is slightly disappointing now. Take you out. Good. Yeah, we still have enough space. And there's the big camp. Good. We just skirted past. Okay, we got our granite flask up. Yeah. Totem up. Granite again. With the granite we're still taking 1000 damage. He hurts hard. We killed him. So getting some proper armor, definitely not a luxury at this point. But we did take him out. So that's some chromatics. Useful or not. There's mana regen on here. There's a bunch of life and a little bit of resistances. 21 points of resist, but 71 life is a lot. This is not half bad in terms of resist, but 19% increased armor is really, really low. So stab with everything. Currency in here, everything else goes in there. That will we keep. And we'll just quickly pop in and out to pick up the other rares. So. Then we have a chat with... we need to use the banner to open the mines. Then we can have a chat with the people. I think we get rares for this here. And then we can move into the mines themselves. Yeah, like that. So short-term goal is increasing my life, because my armor is low. That means I want life to compensate. Raised axe is roughly comparable to what I have, so let's pick that one. Might be a nice one. There's a lot of elemental damage, but a bit low on the physical. Not entirely sure if we still have a prefix available that we could roll physical damage on. But I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be better or not. So for now, we'll stick with it. Then we go into the mines and we get rid of things. And yeah, we'll just sell all the stuff. Great hatchet, that's next level X. This is pretty decent, 12 to 24 physical damage. We can roll another 50 or so % on it with via master crafting, and then we have a lot of base damage. So let's keep that, and we put it in the stash with all the other items. Okay, time for the mines. As I said, I want to increase the size of my life pool a bit because, well, we're low on armor. That means increasing armor is, or increasing life is the best thing we can do to deal with more damage. In addition to that, obviously I want my second curse online. If we have that, enemies are gonna deal less damage, which means our armor is gonna be more effective, because the less damage you do, the more effective armor is. And then combine that with the larger life pool I want anyway, we should be in a pretty good situation. Okay. So, Heart of the Warrior is the one I was talking about. That's what we picked up previously. Now we can just add another 5%. Gets us to a nice round 2109 life. Let's see, Pike Rivet, yep, that's you. Let's summon a totem. Totem is gonna do totemy things. Yep. And here you saw the life going about to 1800 and then just dipping there, and more or less instantly the refill haze showed up and it went all the way to the top, and within no real time we were back to full life and it started again. And as someone who's not used to playing with heavy life leech, I still have to get used to it because it freaks me out every time I see it. Because in my mind, if my life does things like that, usually it means because I'm hammering flasks and I'm gonna run out of flasks soon. And it's not a good habit to, or it's not a healthy situation to be in. Wow, for this build, it's gonna be your default state. So yeah, if you also have that, you're not alone. It's it messes with your mind. But that's the nice thing about playing a build that's a bit different. It pushes you a bit out of your comfort zone. It in the end, it hopefully makes you a better player. Or a more well-rounded player, just able to play different kinds of builds. That's one of the nice things. This game has so many different kinds of builds that you can make, and what amazes me is that they're fun. A lot of them are fun. I'm usually a summoner or caster kind of person, not usually into heavy melee. But the melee in Path of Exile is pretty darn good. It's satisfying. Especially because sometimes the situations get very hectic and there's a lot of precise positioning. There's navigation, situational awareness, flask management, support skill management, things like manually casted curses, totem placement, like this thing for example. Whether to use movement skills. If you have flame dash, you only get 3 charges that recharge slowly. So then also the timing of your movement skills, whether to use them, whether not to use them, especially if you are on less than 3 charges. There's a lot of decision making that comes in. That as you play, a lot of things that at first might be very conscious decisions, you slowly develop them into habits that eventually it becomes muscle memory to do certain things. And then you play a build that requires different reflexes, and then your muscle memory is going to be your worst enemy. Which is, well, pretty hilarious if you think about it. Though it might be slightly annoying at the time. And there is Windscream. Let's put a totem down since you seem to be rather strong. Okay, that was Windscream. What did you do to me? Something. Okay, looking for the shred and hammer mesh. Those two are kind of an item that goes together. Not entirely voluntarily. Yeah, that was done. But in most situations our health is just stable. It's just maxed out and nothing really happens. Curse, let's fix that by drinking from our mana potion, which is also curse removal. Zombies. Okay. Trying to kill something that's all the way at the edge of your Lacerate range is slightly annoying. Luckily we don't have to. Okay, so there is the shred, she's always in those purple swirlies. And that means Storm is near. Okay, so totem is here, standing here. And Storm is no longer standing here. Ah, Chaos Central. To resummon the golem. Hey, wait, the path. Oh, no, this was indeed a dead end pocket. Just double checking. This is usually a dead end pocket. And indeed it is, again, this time. And then we are probably at the entrance, at the exit. Some of his layout feels familiar. Because the mines definitely follow patterns. There's some random thing, but there's a lot of fixed bits and pieces to the map. Or a couple of rough variations of layouts. Which is nice since once you recognize or think you recognize what you're in, it will allow you to navigate a bit more closely to where you're going, rather than just doing a full clear and randomly wandering about. And a couple of those guys. Also, interesting observation that we seem to be out traveling the stone golem most of the time. So by the time the stone golem thinks like, hey, maybe I should taunt someone, then most of the enemies are dead already. But the golem does provide 68 life regen per second. We are doing 165. So no, without the golem we would only be doing about 97. Oh, also we will find Viking here. I didn't even realize that there was a prophecy about this area. Ooh, did I miss you? Also, chaos degen aura around us, but, well, we got positive chaos resists and we have a ton of regen and leech, so we don't really care. Of course, we have, well, if we have 160 something regen per second, that means in 10 seconds we're gonna get 1600. So it's about 13 seconds, 14 seconds, then we'll be full on life again. That's just base background regen. On top of that, leeching by default it's capped at 20% of your maximum life per second. If you have enough stacks of life regen, that you will actually hit the maximum, but especially against groups with the damage output we're doing, I don't think it's weird to have that happening. Also, let's just put things a little bit in overdrive. Oh, just tackle this rare while we're being attacked by random mobs. Because, well, why not? Okay, a good why not would be like, yeah, you know, limit the amount of danger you put yourself in, so it's safer to go through, but... yeah, that would be a safe and logical argument, but, well... it wouldn't be as fun. Part of the fun is indeed putting yourself into situations that you know aren't 100% wise, but they're fun. And killing lots of monsters at the same time is fun. It's not safe, but it's fun. Can we do some rearranging over here? Yeah, we can. Yep. We're playing Inventory Tetris again. It's not the greatest game in the world, but well, it is a game. And over the years I've gotten reasonably decent at it. Okay. Would be nice if Vegan was just there on the way. Also, Burning Man's up there. Gilded Salad. Okay, let's make a quick town stop just to empty our pockets, because no amount of inventory Tetris is gonna help you against a full inventory. Oh, you know what? We'll just put it in the sorting bin. The other sorting bin, I mean. And we'll just deal with it after the episode. Oh, and we get a skill point from Tasuni, that's always nice. So the fact that we have a lot of regen and a lot of leech still means that we don't want to tank the Burning Man when it explodes. It's just we kill it and then we get out. Like that. And I honestly am not quite sure how sturdy you need to be to tank it. I think it's okay. I think the bang is worse than actually getting hit. But it's a bit like having fun with Triskeriaki. Yes, you can approach it in a very risky way, but Triskeriaki is pretty dangerous. So you don't want to take too many chances there. Hello there, Vegan. Oh, the dummies. Let's do a little bit of clearing. Since they'll just be distractions. Okay, dummy combat. Oh, we have a totem. Smashy totem smashes. That's all you can really say about that. Yes. We're quick at killing stuff as usual. Well, I nearly get him to 5. I mean, the Viking is always nice. Weapon enchantments, higher level weapon enchantments means you can just put more damage on your weapon. And for our build, that's actually relevant for a change. Now, similarly to how leveling Furici allows you to put more sockets on your gear or get better gear socketing options. Now you need to get them to a certain level in order to unlock the 4, 5, 6 socket chance or the guaranteed multi-color thingamajigs. Okay, so that's been mostly cleared. That means we're probably gonna have to head over to this side and find an exit there. Oh, how convenient. Hello there, Lady Diana. How are you today? So, we will return here next time. And we're gonna go king hunting. King Khan and Deresso, the King of Swords. They're both kings in their own right. Not entirely sure if I had this one in my tree or not, but 26% increased melee physical damage is just too good to say no to. 1566 becomes 1745. So that's 180 points of damage. That's definitely worth it. About half efficiency right now. We are, of course, adding a lot of damage already. We are over 100% increased damage. So things slowly... I call them diminishing returns. Just if you look at your total DPS, it no longer goes up by the increased amount, but by less, because, of course, this is already like 200% of your base damage rather than 100%. But you've heard me go on and off about that enough times that I'm not going to repeat the same argument yet again. For now, I'm just going to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time when we go king hunting. Bye bye.